Hey, Pretty Girl Club. So, I want to talk about the whole concept of people saying that you make your skin tone a personality trait and that it's bad. I've noticed that dark skinned black women can call themselves by whatever positive nicknames they want, as they should. They'll call themselves Chocolate Queen, Melanin Goddess. They'll say their melanin is poppin'. They have Black Girl Magic, Black Don't Crack. Once you go black, you never go back, etc. But when you call yourself by a positive nickname and you are not dark skinned, suddenly you're colorist. So if I call myself butter pecan, butterscotch, caramel, toffee, or anything that is not, dark chocolate, then suddenly I am making my skin tone a personality trait. Well, let me tell you something. Your skin tone actually is a part of who you are. It is the biggest organ in your body. Your skin tone is a part of you, just like your eyes, your nose, your lips, your hair, your ethnicity. That's also a part of you as well. And I believe that people have the right to love themselves, regardless of how they look and regardless of their skin tone. So, yes, that does include people with a lighter skin tone. And yes, that does include people who are mixed race. I've seen some people online, they'll call themselves African Queen, Nubian Queen, but then let's say you call yourself Blasian Baddie or, biracial butterfly or something, then suddenly it is a problem and you are thinking you're better. No, you think that I'm better. And that's why you are projecting your inner thoughts and insecurities onto me. Another person's inferiority complex is not my problem. Like a person who is mixed race or a person who has a lighter complexion, they cannot help how they were born. So if you were born with a caramel skin tone and you call yourself Caramel Goddess on YouTube, then that shouldn't be a problem. Just like how a lot of white girls, they'll call themselves Blue-Eyed Baby, Russian Babe, Italian Queen, or names that have to do with their ethnicities. I don't see people keeping that same energy for white women. Blonde Bombshell. I don't see people keeping that same energy. But suddenly, if you're a mixed woman, then it's a huge problem. You think you're better than others. Shut up. You're not even that light skinned. You're mediocre. You still look black. Your hair is nappy. No, I'm not tolerating it anymore on this channel. Mixed race people and lighter skinned people as well have the freedom of speech just like anyone else. And as a matter of fact, what I really want to do, this would be awesome if you guys are down for it. I want to see people here on YouTube who are a part of the Exoticals United community start to change their usernames and create a username that reflects how you feel about yourself in a positive way. Create a positive, validating nickname like, Butterscotch Baddie. I don't know, I'm just trying to come up with usernames, but it's like I'm tired of other groups of people trying to silence us and trying to police everything we say. So we got the mixed police, we got the light-skinned police, we got the YouTube police, and now we have the username police and the skin tone police. So now I can't even talk about my skin tone. Have you ever noticed that? As a light-skinned person, you are banned from talking about your skin tone ever. You can never talk about it. If you're mixed race, you are not allowed to talk about being mixed because that means you think you're better and you're trying to brag. So if you think that me simply mentioning my background is me thinking I'm better, that's a you problem. That's not my problem. Like I don't see people keeping the same energy with Nigerians, with unambiguous dark-skinned Nigerians. If they say, "Oh yeah, I'm Nigerian, I'm from Africa," then I don't see people saying, "Oh, well, you're making your race a part of your personality trait. You think you're better." Why not? Why don't we say that to dark-skinned unambiguous people? Well, it's because a lot of people, you don't view a dark-skinned unambiguous Nigerian as being on a pedestal or as thinking that they're on a pedestal. That's why you don't have a problem with them talking about their heritage. That's why you don't have a problem with a dark-skinned unambiguous woman who looks like Whoopi Goldberg. You don't have a problem with her calling herself Chocolate Baddie, Dark Chocolate Queen. You know why? Because deep down inside, you don't view her as the pinnacle of beauty. You only have a problem when a person that you actually do view as the pinnacle of beauty, when she actually acknowledges, "Oh yeah, I feel like I'm the pinnacle of beauty." That's when you have a problem. And I think that is the flaw and the hypocrisy that we see in society. A lot of people, they want you to acknowledge your privilege, acknowledge this about yourself, acknowledge that you're not fully black. Shut up, you're not even a real black person. And then when you admit, "Okay, yeah, you know what, you're right, I'm not fully black." Or when you finally admit, "Oh yeah, you know what, I am light skinned." Then suddenly, "Oh, shut up, you're not even that light skinned. Shut up, you don't even look mixed. Oh, your white mom rejected you. Your white dad rejected you. The white man doesn't want you. He wants an unambiguous woman." And it's like, I'm tired of the gaslighting. I'm not going to continuously be thrown in and out of every single community. That's why I wanted to create my own community for people who look like myself, because it's like I'm not going to be at the bottom of every other community. I'm not going to be at the bottom of the black community, the bottom of the white community, the bottom of the Mexican community. No. How about we create our own spaces? Mixed race is a race. It just means you have multiple races in your bloodline. That's it. It's very simple. It doesn't mean, oh, you automatically think you're better. And it's funny because a lot of people, they don't like stereotypes, right? They say stereotyping is bad. Meanwhile, people will stereotype you into oblivion. And to be honest, I actually don't even think it's a bad stereotype to, be seen as thinking you're cute. For example, it's like, that's actually not a bad thing. Like, sis, that's actually a compliment. You just said that I'm confident, basically. Oh, you think you cute? Yeah, I do think I'm cute. So actually, that's not bad at all. So thank you for acknowledging that I'm a confident person or that you think that I'm a confident person. Like, all of these things that these people think are insults, they're not actual insults. It's like, sis, you need to come up with a better insult. Oh, you look black. It's like, yeah, actually I do look black. Thank you. That's a compliment. There's nothing wrong with looking black. Oh, your hair is a type 4. Okay, like that's good. There's nothing wrong with type 4 hair. And it's funny because the same things that they will make fun of you for, whether it's black men, black women, or whoever it is, the same things that they'll make fun of you for, it's like you can't make fun of them for that. So they'll make fun of you saying, oh, well, you called yourself Blasian Baddie. That's corny. But then if she calls herself Chocolate Baddie or Nubian Queen Baddie or Nigerian Baddie, then suddenly it's okay. It's just incredibly hypocritical. And I feel like this whole movement about colorism, texturism, featureism, and anti-blackness, it's not about those things. This movement is really about social power and people who want social power. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with wanting to be in a position in life where you can succeed. I agree with that. I think every person has the right to pursue social power or happiness, whatever that means for them. But guess what? That includes mixed race people. That includes lighter skinned people as well. Lighter skinned people have the right to embrace their skin tone and to call their skin tone by a positive, affirming name. If you think that butter pecan is like a yummy flavor, or you think caramel is a yummy flavor, and you start calling your skin tone by that flavor, that's actually a form of a positive affirmation. Positive affirmations have an effect on the brain. It actually can form new neural pathways, and that creates physical connections for you to have repeated positive thoughts. So if you say a positive thing about your skin tone, that's building your confidence around your skin tone, which is not a bad thing. Everybody should do that. So yes, if you're dark skin and chocolate, I encourage you to continue calling yourself chocolate goddess or chocolate baddie or whatever. But guess what? If you are not dark skin, if you have another skin tone, bronze, cinnamon, whatever, then you should call yourself by a positive nickname because that is going to help you to affirm yourself. Because affirmations rewire your brain. And it's funny because the reason that people don't want you to affirm yourself when you're light skinned is because they feel like, oh no, you've already received enough affirmation from society as a whole. And so you don't get to affirm yourself now. So now I'm going to police you when it comes to how much you affirm yourself because you probably already think you're cuter than me. And so how dare you also love your skin tone as well? That's not fair. And like I said, all of this, it's about competition, it's about social power, it's about women wanting to be desirable. By the way, none of those things are bad, but guess what? Mixed race women have those desires as well. So I, as a mixed person, I also have a desire to be confident. I also have a desire to affirm myself, and I will continue to do so, whether you're around me or whether you're not around me. That's why I called this channel Exoticals United, because I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks of my YouTube name. It's my YouTube channel. If you don't like my name, you can go call yourself by whatever other name you want. It's like, what am I supposed to call myself? Ugly, mediocre, trash? All of these people who try to police you and say, well, you're making such and such a part of your personality. You're making your ethnicity a part of your personality. Well, your ethnicity is a part of your background and your ethnicity does influence your personality. These same women like to talk so much about black men. So you're making them being black a part of their personality. You're talking about the cultural issues that black men have. You talk about the most common issues that black men have in their community. You talk about how a lot of them come from broken homes, which has been psychologically proven to influence your personality. So you make black men's blackness their personality. You make your blackness as a black woman your personality. But then, let's say a mixed race person, they embrace their Blasian background or something. Then suddenly, oh, you're making that a part of your personality, and that's bad. Your ethnicity influences your personality, and that's just the bottom line. It'll never not be that way. You make white people's whiteness a part of their personality, right? You talk about white privilege. You talk about white guilt. You talk about how white people interact when they're in scenarios where everybody's a person of color. You talk about how a lot of white people are out of touch. So you're making their whiteness a part of their personality. So you literally do this to every other race without even realizing it. And then suddenly if a mixed person acknowledges, hey, you know what? I am Dominican. You know what? I am Haitian, and that influences my personality. Then suddenly, oh, well, you're making your ethnicity a part of your personality. It's idiotic. And this is why on this channel I will continue to talk about psychology and sociology, because the same people that say, well, you're making that a part of your personality, those same people that say that don't realize that like everything in your life shapes your personality and it influences your personality. So that's nothing new, sis. And it's not a bad thing unless you make it a bad thing. But simply calling your skin tone butterscotch, that's not anything. You're not hurting anyone by calling your skin tone butterscotch. You're not hurting anyone by calling your skin tone caramel or cinnamon or bronze or whatever nickname you want to call yourself. A person acknowledging their own beauty shouldn't hurt you. And yes, your skin tone is a part of your beauty, no matter what it is. Nobody said, oh, if I call myself caramel, that means I think my skin tone is more beautiful than chocolate. No, it's just a username, sis. It's a username. So yes, if Beyonce or whatever celebrity wants to make a song and say, oh, look at my caramel skin in the sun, then that's fine. That's not colorist. That's not colorist. Because if you are that skin tone, or if that's how you view your skin tone and you're just loving yourself, that shouldn't be offensive. Someone else's self-love shouldn't be offensive to you. And if it is, that's a sign that you have insecurity. It's just like somebody calling themselves thick. I don't say, oh my God, you think you're better than me because you said you were thick. Oh my God, fuck you. No, she's calling herself thick because she's embracing her body. Or if I say, oh, I have a little booty, I'm skinny. She's not bragging. She's just mentioning something about herself. It's okay for people to love themselves. It's okay for you to love your body shape. It's okay for you to love your hair texture, your skin tone, your eye color, etc. It's okay for you to call yourself. Do you know how many white girls call themselves blue-eyed blonde, blue-eyed bombshell, Russian babe, Russian bombshell, brunette baddie, brunette bombshell? I'm just making up a whole bunch of names, but it's like nobody keeps that same energy for dark skin, monoracial black people, monoracial white women, monoracial Asian women. I've seen lots of Asian women, they'll call themselves by Asian usernames. Korean baby doll, Korean Barbie doll, Japanese Barbie doll. They'll call themselves by so many other nicknames. I don't see you going over to the Japanese community and saying, oh, you can't call yourself that. I don't see you doing that. So why are you having this energy suddenly with MLS people? That's because you feel like you have an inferiority complex in comparison to the MLS people. And that's why them simply acknowledging themselves or, loving themselves is offensive to you. Anytime somebody else's self-love is offensive to you, that's a sign that you're insecure. That's your problem, not mine. Everything you've ever done, every experience you've ever had, every aspect of how you look in society, all of those things shape your personality. That would be like if somebody is Russian and then you say you only like being Russian because you are white and you're pedestalized over others. Not every person who loves themselves based on racism. And that's a stereotype that I'm so tired of when it comes to mixed race people. People think that if you're a mixed person and you have confidence, or if you have a lighter skin tone and you have confidence, your confidence automatically comes from colorism, texturism, featureism, racism, and anti-blackness. First of all, isn't that hypocritical? Since when do colorism, texturism, featureism, and anti-blackness create confidence in others? And even when it comes to white people, for example, or a person who is non-black, you don't say to them, oh, you're only confident because you're white. No, maybe that person, if they're Russian, maybe they like the food, maybe they like the culture, maybe they actually love their family members. And I know I'm striking a chord with this, but I'm sorry. Sometimes in monoracial communities, not even just black, but anybody, sometimes people, they don't love their own family members, they don't love the culture that they came from, and they don't love themselves. And so it's confusing to them when they see a person who does love themselves and then they happen to come from a different culture. They assume you only like yourself because you're white. You only like yourself because you're biracial. And it's like, no, some people actually love their family members. Some people actually love their background, or they love the culture that they grew up in. They love the food. Not every other person's self-esteem comes from putting down people. And this is just coming from the typical stereotype about MLS people, like, oh, you think you're better than others and that's the only reason you're confident or whatever. And it kind of reminds me of how one of the Black women empowerment creators, Chrissy, how she made that YouTube video a long time ago about that girl that was wearing the goggles, and then she was like, "You're not even that light skinned." It's like, first of all, she is light skinned, otherwise you wouldn't be making the video. So you've already proven to yourself and to her that she is in fact light skinned because you were giving her the quote unquote light skin treatment by making a video dragging her. You would never have done that if deep down inside you felt like, oh, you know what, she's a dark skinned, unambiguous woman. You would have never done that. And so the same thing is true for people who are mixed race. You know how people try to put you down and say, oh, well, you know, you're not half white, so like you're not really a mixed person. It's like, obviously I am mixed in your eyes if you're reacting the way that you are. Because you wouldn't feel the need to police my race if I was the same race as you, right? If I had the exact same racial background as you, if I was unambiguous or whatever, then you would not feel the same need to police my race. The fact that you are policing me and the fact that you feel it's okay to treat me how you're treating me, that shows actually, and that proves that you view me as different from you, and that's okay. People tell us to acknowledge our differences, to acknowledge our privilege, or acknowledge where we come from, or acknowledge that we have a different experience, and then when we do that as mixed race or lighter skinned people, then suddenly it's, oh, well, F you, you think you're better. Anyway, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.